welcome to Home with the Halsteads. It's time to get out those recipes because Thanksgiving and Christmas is upon us. And I've been reading your comments and I have decided what you like. You like quick, easy, simple. You like recipes that you already have the ingredients in your house and you don't have to go out and buy a lot of special items that you're not going to use later. So today I'm going to show you how to make a squash casserole. If I'm just cooking squash throughout the year, usually I'll just stew them down, put some onions and some butter in them, and we'll eat them that way. But around the holidays, I like to make a casserole. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to put in the casserole, and then I'll show you how I'm going to do it. I'm starting out with a pound of yellow squash. Now you can double this recipe or triple it, ever how large you need yours to be. Just double it or triple it, or just make a single small casserole like I'm going to do. But I'm using a pound of yellow squash and I've already chipped them up, and I just left this one so that I could show you the kind of squash that I'm using, and I'll finish chipping that or cutting that up in just a minute. I'm going to use a half a stick of butter, and I've let this get room temperature. I'll be using 1 egg. I'll be using a tablespoon of sugar, a half a cup of grated cheese, a half a cup of mayonnaise, of course salt, pepper, and then I'm going to top my casserole with Ritz crackers. I'm going to use 2 small sleeves, and I've learned that you can just crush those crackers right in that paper that it comes in, and you don't have to mess up a bowl or use a plastic bag. You can just do it in the bag that it comes in, which makes it really easy. So I've already crushed my Ritz crackers. So what I'm going to do first is to finish cutting up the squash, and I'm just slicing them into small pieces, small slices, and I'm going to put them in a saucepan that I have behind me. It's just like this. I'm just gonna pour those in there like that. And the first thing that I need to do is to take these over to the stove and cook these squash. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put them on the stove. I'm going to put them on medium heat. Once they get really hot, I'll probably turn them down just a little bit. I'm going to stew them down, cook them, and then drain any excess juice off. And once I get that done, then I'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to put the casserole together. Okay, our squash are done, and I have drained the water off and put them in this little bowl that I'm going to be working with them. The next thing that I'm going to do is to add my butter, and these squash are hot, and the butter is at room temperature. So I'm just going to mix that around and to melt the butter. Like that. And then I'm going to take this little chopper that I have here, and I'm going to chop my squash. Sometimes if you cook them long enough, they'll just kind of cook all to pieces, but these I just kind of steam, so I want them a little bit more mixed or chopped up than what they cooked out. So there we have it. I've just taken this little chopper, chopped it up, and I'm going to set that aside. Next, I'm going to take this little bowl and I'm going to mix my ingredients. First of all, I'm going to put 1 egg. I almost put it in there without putting it in my little dish to make sure I didn't have any shell, and I always tell y'all to do that. To that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of sugar. I'm going to go ahead and mix that up using a fork. Then I'm going to add a half a cup of mayonnaise. Mix that around. Here again, these are ingredients that you have in your pantry, in your refrigerator. The only thing that you might have to go buy, or probably would have to go buy to make this squash casserole, are some squash. And then again, you might have some in your freezer that you've put up. Next, I'm adding a half a cup of grated cheese. See how easy, quick, simple this is. And then I'm going to add some salt because I didn't salt the squash to begin with. And then I'm going to add some pepper. Now you can use white pepper or you can use black pepper. I'm just using white pepper in mine today. Gonna mix that around. Now I'm gonna take my squash and grab a spoon. And I'm going to add this mixture to the squash. And mix that around. A lot of squash casserole recipes calls for soup or breadcrumbs within the squash casserole itself, but I don't care for that. I do like to top mine with some type of topping. You can use breadcrumbs with butter, or you can use Ritz crackers, which I'm using today. Now we're ready to pour it in our casserole dish. I'm just using a 9x9 little baking dish here. I have sprayed it with some Pam so that it won't stick. I don't think it would stick anyway, but I did spray it. So I'm just going to pour this in here. And I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And I'm going to cook it for 35 to 40 minutes, or until it's golden brown. Next, I'm going to top it with the crushed Ritz crackers. Spreading these around evenly. Just like that. Getting it in all the corners. And how simple is that? I have a squash casserole ready to go in the oven. I'm going to pop it in for 35 to 40 minutes. And when it gets done, I'll come back and I'll show it to you. Our squash casserole is out of the oven, and you can see it's golden brown. And I'm just know that it's going to be delicious, and I can't wait to get into it. Again, thank you for watching Home of the Halsteads. I'm going to continue to look for those quick and easy, simple recipes that I can share with you. And in the meantime, thank you for liking our page, sharing our page, going to our home page and liking our overall page and each of our videos. And I hope and pray that each of you have a blessed day. And I will see you really soon with another good recipe.